What's going on, everybody? Big Monday episode here. Got to go all by my lonesome on this one. It's just too much to report. Go right through everything that's going on. Plus, everyone's still recovering from Comic-Con weekend. I don't know if I'm going to be able to cover all the stuff from Comic-Con in general in the amount of time that I have here. But because there's just so much. There's a lot of stuff. I think, as you see in the title, the main thing we're going to talk about is not only the fact that we're getting an Avengers movie again. We're getting two, and apparently in the same year to close out Phase 6. There was a lot of announcements that came out. Everyone thought, well, Marvel's going to deliver big, and some people thought maybe not too big because, you still got D23. Well, they delivered big, and they showed a few trailers. They showed some exclusive stuff that made me, that was the stuff I was bummed out that I wasn't actually able to be there because I thought they were going to air everything on the YouTubes, but they didn't. But nonetheless, they gave a lot. In general, for the news cycle, they gave a lot to people who were there. They put on a show, and the big announcement coming from the finalization, obviously, of what Phase 4 is. Phase 5, when it starts, basically the full slate of 5, and then a few of Phase 6. Inside of that, the confirmation of Fantastic Four, and of course the two Avengers movies that we'll get into. We'll talk about all that. We'll talk about the emotional Black Panther trailer, which I think kind of stole the panel overall. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, obviously. We'll go over that whole Marvel panel, and I think it's going to take the majority of the show because there's so much. DC stuff that they showed. I happen to really like the stuff that they showed. I just don't know if their strategy on the presentation was the smartest. From the stuff that they do have coming out, the stuff that they could announce, and if they couldn't announce it, then maybe hold off and just wait for fandom in general. But we'll get into that also. We'll talk about The Rock's big entrance. We'll talk about the disappointment of Henry Cavill, which I still will say now, we'll say later. That was not Warner Brothers' fault at all. They never once said Henry Cavill was going to be there. We all just took up on the rumor and said, oh, we wonder if he's going to be there or not. So we'll get into that. John Wick had a trailer. Lord of the Rings had a trailer. Again, I don't know if I'll be able to cover these all the way through because of everything going down, but either way, a lot to cover. Okay, so if you're brand new to the channel, we're trying to get to 70,000 by the end of the year, and if we do it, we're going to try to take this show on the road, kids. Going to live events, doing stand-up shows, doing full episodes of The Big Thing and Council on the road, but we got to get to 70,000 subscribers. We need you guys to help us out. So if you're brand new, please check it out. Also, Apple Podcast, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. A lot more people are starting to listen to us on audio, and that is helping out a lot. A lot of positive words coming for this show, and I can't thank you guys enough. I've also been putting up old interviews of one-on-one. Just put Joe Manganiello up there. So if you want to check that out, do it. All right, let's get into it. We have a detailed show, I would say. It's the big thing. Let's do it. Welcome back, everybody. It's the big thing. It is Monday, and everybody is recovering. Comic-Con. Not only the people that were there, obviously. First Comic-Con back since all the nonsense hit back in 2020. But it was last year, Comic-Con, they had it, but it was like Thanksgiving. Who went? Nobody went. Nothing really happened. So this is like the first real one back. So from the footage out there of not just the footage in Hall H, but the footage of people enjoying themselves and having a good time and just it seems like I follow Jermaine Lucier, who I've talked about on my Twitter and everything too. And Jermaine is, besides being a good dude, he is a guy I follow for all these conventions and stuff. And he was even saying at the very end of it, the conventions like the updates, but he was saying that it seemed more kind of laid back, obviously, from one's previous, but it was still good to be back, and you could tell that it was moving pretty well. I hear good things about, and a lot of times, and I think it's important to highlight this. A lot of times, I remember every year, whether we were reporting it on Collider Live or AMC Movie Talk, whatever, it was always talked about how the staff wasn't running it very well, and they were just overwhelmed. And you got to give them credit from everything that I hear this year. Was not there, obviously, but from everything that I am hearing, that this I guess the show. That's what they call it, the events show. It was put on very well, and that they were on it. So kudos to them for being there, protecting people, having a good show. So, okay, let's get right into this thing, man. Let's just talk about that Marvel panel, because we'll get into the DC thing in a little bit. Like I said, I think that the Black Adam stuff and the Shazam stuff I really liked. But I just think that if you're, especially when you're taking over again and you got a new regime, you either show up big, not just rely on The Rock's entrance, but you show up big with some announcements, or you hold off and you say, we're not going to do it this year. Not going to do it this year. Or we're going to save everything for fandom. We're going to release everything there. We're going to pull back. And I know that The Rock has a trailer and everything too, but you know what? Just call it the Black Adam panel. Because some people are like, well, that's what they did. No, they called it the Warner Brothers Theatrical Presents, and then inside of it said featuring stuff from Shazam and Black Adam, but it was titled Warner Brothers Overall. And anyway, we'll get into that later. So Marvel really had, and it's unfair a lot of times too, but there's always every year there's always the comparison of who took Hall H. Was it Warner Brothers or was it Marvel? Marvel just shows up with a big damn show and they have everything in place. And one of the things, I'm going to start doing these short videos. I have like these little ideas, so I'm going to start putting shorts up and see if you guys enjoy them. But like one of the ideas I'm going to do is, what if Star Wars had a slate? Here's what they could announce, and Star Wars can't do it because they don't have they don't have that concise plan yet all the way through, right? Like Marvel does, and I think it's the same thing with DC at the moment. Marvel did, and they showed it, and they started out with, as he always does. Well, first, and I also want to give a big shout out to my buddy Ash Crossan, who is just, if you don't know Ash, she used to be on Jedi Council all the time, and her and I have been talking. She's going to come on this show or Sith Council really soon. But Ash, besides being just a wonderful human being and a very funny person, she has been annihilating it in the hosting space lately. She was the host of the Mandalorian panel at Star Wars Celebration, and then she hosted this panel for Hall H, which is a massive achievement overall, and it not just for the obvious reason of, I can say I had a feather in my cap. It means that your name is starting to catch on, and people are trusting you to do these things, and they're becoming very familiar with your country. She's like the life of the party person. When she walks in, you just want to hang out with her, and she brings that to the stage, and she certainly did that too. She makes people feel very comfortable, and that's what I liked about Josh Horowitz, and that's what I like about Kelly Carter, and that's what I like about people who just make you feel comfortable inside of the room, and that's what Ash is able to do. So a big shout out to Ash Crossan for once again just bringing the house down with her hosting skills. So what happens is the man comes out himself. Kevin Feige hits the stage, and he's just become, accustomed to this. He knows how to do it. He knows how to maneuver the room. He knows how to get people excited. He knows how to do it. And he started off obviously with the stuff. And what I like about it, and I'm still, and I know people are out there tweeting out about how much Phase 4 obviously does have a clear direction and everything too, and that very well might be the case. It just seems at the moment, as the stuff is put out, we haven't really seen what that is yet, and I stand by that. We still haven't really. They're piecing it all together, and clearly they have a plan, as shown by yesterday's announcement. But he doesn't address that kind of stuff. He just says, "Look, this is what we got going on. This is it. This is the phase," and he throws up the Phase 4, and what we've had thus far in Phase 4 with WandaVision, Loki, Eternals. Right. So if you look at Phase 4, and this is for me, if you look at Phase 4 in general, I think it starts out strong. WandaVision's great. Loki's great. I love Eternals. Not a lot of people do, but most people, I think, would say, okay, so they took a step down in Eternals. You still got me for Eternals Phase 4. Then you really hit it with Spider-Man No Way Home, and then Moon Knight. So if you look at, if you're talking about me so far, Phase 4 is delivering for me. And it's funny, because if you go back to my other videos, I'm like, I don't know about Phase 4. So far, the way that the Phase 4 timeline, I like it. But again, that's the lineup of Phase 4 that we've gotten thus far. Then Moon Knight, which I really enjoyed Moon Knight. Didn't love the series finale or season finale, whatever. But whatever. It's still so far. You got me on board with it. Then you got Thor, Love and Thunder. Now that's where you lost me, but you didn't lose a lot of other people. So you got WandaVision, Loki, Eternal, Spider-Man, Moon Knight, and Thor, Love and Thunder. So not and again, there's these other. I guess it's all timeline stuff and how it all plays together and that's how it all works. Well, wait, hold on a second. How does that work? Am I doing that right? I guess I'm doing it right. Right? May, July, March, August. Yeah. Why is that? I don't know. Is it timeline? I don't know how the hell they do this. I guess that's how it works. I have no idea. You guys tell me in the comments. I have no idea. But it looks like, is it just the stuff up top? Or that's the stuff in the bottom? I don't know how it works. How the hell does that work with the timeline? Either way. So then you get then we're gonna we'll talk about She-Hulk, because that's the first thing they really show is this trailer of She-Hulk. So I put my reaction to it. Oh, there's so many dicks out there. God, so many good people too, but it's like you can't have a different opinion than other people. Either you don't like humor. You're Clint Eastwood sitting on the porch. You get over the fact that you don't like the bad CGI. Blah blah. But enjoy what you enjoy, and let me not like what I like. If I was to say, like, if I came out and said, "Hey, you dumb idiots! If you like this, you're a moron, and if you think that CGI is good, you don't know good cinema," then tear me to shreds. You have the right if I'm coming after you. 100%. If I say, I don't know, it doesn't look too good to me, and then you start, well, what do you care? Why do you care? Because it doesn't look good to me. There are certain shots that didn't look great. Now, I will say this. What I have also accepted with certain amounts of the show, and I'm understanding this about myself too, even with the Dungeons and Dragons thing that came in, right? I don't play Dungeons and Dragons. And a lot of people said, I think Campia said it too. For people who are looking for a more serious tone of Dungeons and Dragons, clearly didn't play Dungeons and Dragons. Fact. Didn't play it. I know how popular it is. I know a lot of great people that play it. And I just, not that I never wanted to, just never got into it. Probably would have loved it. But I didn't. So, again, that late 90s kind of comedic humor, it doesn't always pop for me. And I think that's taking a pause here because my OBS has been doing this stupid thing lately. You'll hear my audio, but it's just paused. Like my face. There you go. I got to get this stupid system cleaned up. So just deal with the stupid thing. When I see it pause, I'm going to take my break. Should sing songs or something. Yeah, my audio works, but then it just freezes on my stupid face. But anyway, the Thor and Guardians and the goofy humor, it just doesn't it doesn't hit for me if it's just kind of thrown out there. But the difference with She-Hulk is that She-Hulk, from everything, and I didn't read the comics, but from what I heard, it's sticking to what the comics lore was. I know it goes into a serious realm eventually in the comics, but for the most part, it's a comedy. She's talking to the camera or talking to the audience, and they do that. And I love Tatiana Maslany, so I think that the show with the Ally McBeal inside of the MCU could be a fun show, and it could be a good genre of show. And there's nothing to kind of hold it against. And the thing with Thor that I thought was different was that we've seen serious Thor before. We've seen the emotional Thor, so now he's just kind of a goofy Thor. It's just a change from what we've seen. And I know Ragnarok was similar, but you know what I mean, like from stuff that we've seen him go emotionally in, whether it was Infinity War. So it's a shift. There's no basis to She-Hulk yet. This is how they're introducing her. So this is fair. This is what they're giving us, and this is what it is. And a lot of people are excited about it. The story looks interesting. The story looks like I'm definitely, like, as I'm gonna embrace the cheesy tone of it and go into it, but there are times, and what I will also say about the CGI is that we're also watching it on YouTube. It's also not August 16th or 17th or whenever the show comes out. So we still have to give the effects peeps some time to say, hey, because I saw somebody in the comment section, what you don't understand is that the visual effects people, they are pressured by Disney. And I get it. I get it. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing when I'm looking at YouTube, and I'm seeing it so far. What I see, do I think that this is going to be a major thing that's going to destroy the show? I'm just telling you how I feel when I look at it. I'm not telling you how you feel. You could say that I'm going to get past it, and it's not going to bother me. I don't care. I'm just excited. That's phenomenal. That is so great. I can't train my eye to do that yet. Come over and teach me a class. Come over and say, this is how you do it. Right? But enjoy it. And I'm never going to tell, I can't, you can't believe you like the show. If I don't like the CGI, just let me don't like it. It's fine. You're going to be all right. I promise you'll be fine. There are a lot of people, though, and I will say, for those few comments that were saying that, there were so many people going, oh, yeah, I like it. I think it looks great. I think it looks kind of fun. I love those kind of comments. I don't need you to agree with me all the time. That's the whole point of this show. That's one of the things that so many people have been saying inside of the comment section, is that you feel like you're just talking to your buddies. You agree with your buddies all the time? You agree with your friends all the time? No. You have conversations with them and you go, oh, really? You didn't like that? Why not? Oh, this? Oh, come on. You're being ridiculous. You're being silly. Here's what I like about it. You can call me silly. That's fine. I don't even mind if you call me Clint Eastwood. Grouchy. Sometimes I am, but I have coffee. And that's what happens. But they open up with She-Hulk at the Marvel panel. And, it goes over pretty well. People are digging it. Most reactions were digging it. I think the show itself looks fun. Looks like it can be a lot of fun. And I hope that the CGI gets better. But they move on. And we're still back to the Phase 4 stuff, right? She-Hulk, Falcon and Winter Soldier, obviously Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Hawkeye, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, Ms. Marvel, and then Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Now that closes out Phase 4. And this is how we're going to kind of do. I know that Wakanda Forever closed out the panel, but I want to before we, I guess no. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do an order of phase. So even though Wakanda Forever closed it out, we're going to talk about the actual movie and what happened. And again, I wasn't in the panel, so I can only imagine how emotional it was. Ryan Coogler, to me, is one of my favorites. I think Ryan Coogler is going to get to a status the same way that whether it's Jordan Peele or Tarantino or Nolan or any of these guys, that when their movies come out, it's going to be a Coogler movie that's coming out. He deserves that, because you look at Fruitvale Station, Creed, Black Panther, he has not missed. And I saw the other day when people were talking about like Jordan Peele and Jordan Peele has come out with these 3 big movies right away. So's Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler, to me, is a phenomenal filmmaker who's just, and he's young, man. He's young. I think he's like in his early 30s now, right? Let me see. At the most, I say Ryan. At the most, I think he's 35. Hey Siri, how old is Ryan Coogler?
Ryan Coogler is 36 years old.
Missed it by 1. So it's close. 36 years old. He's been making movies already for a bit. Talented dude, man. I love Ryan Coogler. Had the honor of being able to speak to him a few different times, whether it was for Creed or running into him a couple different times, and he's just a down to earth, like passionate dude. So, for obvious reasons, this movie, Wakanda Forever, is emotional for everyone, and especially those involved with the passing of the late great Chadwick Boseman. And I mean, I'm just getting kind of emotional just thinking about this trailer and the way that they used the Bob Marley music and the way that it played. And this trailer was just powerful on so many different levels. So we didn't even know. Everyone's like, this movie's coming out? It's November. We haven't heard anything about it. This, to me, this is how you do it, right? So Lord of the Rings, the last 2 trailers for Lord of the Rings, and I don't want to get into the Tolkien aspect of it. If you're a Tolkien fan, and I understand, and I'm telling you, like for people who are diehard into the Tolkien mythos, they're just hating this movie. I don't know enough about it. We'll talk about it later, but I don't know enough about it. I'm just telling you what I saw. The last 2 trailers been pretty damn good for me. I thought the first 2, the teasers, were silly. That's the theme of today's show. Silly. But don't release it. Don't release it until you have something to hit. And Black Panther showed that. Because everyone was like, oh, it's Black Panther. It's coming out in November. They haven't shown anything. We haven't seen anything. Shut up. Here's something. Now everybody's talking about that movie. Everybody's talking about that movie and how powerful that movie is and stuff. And not only the stuff that you saw inside of that trailer with the mural to Chadwick and inside of the T'Challa and watch and seeing all that, like that's the obvious emotion, right? And that's the obvious when you see it, how powerful it is. But watching everybody and how they're dealing with it and what this movie is of them dealing with the loss and dealing with having to overcome that, and who's going to take over the Black Panther mantle? Who's going to do that? We don't know yet. Obviously, somebody does because we see Black Panther show up at the very end. Who is it? They're not. And there's not even a lot. This is a teaser. You're not getting a lot necessarily yet of who's in it. Namor shows up. Another thing, but this is what I will say: people corrected me inside of the comments of this, but did it awesome. Like, did it awesome. I said that Namor is basically Marvel's version of Aquaman. And people said, well, actually, Namor came first. Thank you. That's what you do in a conversation. I didn't know that. I'm not going to pretend that I know that. I have no idea. I don't know these things. I'm not going to pretend that I do. I'm just, it's the same thing. I talk to my buddies at home. They don't even know who Namor is. They still don't know who Namor is. No idea. John Pinto knows who Namor is? No. He doesn't. Neither did I. I mean, I heard of him and stuff, but either way, that's you got to think of it like it's like my dad. Oh, who's that? Namor? Is that the who's that? Namor? That's the what? The guy, the Aquaman. He's like Aquaman, right? Actually, Dad, he's Aquaman's like Namor. What? Shut up. But yeah, so thank you for that, because Namor's in this and looks pretty solid when you look at the inside of that trailer. He's gonna have a big part, right? So there's so many. But as I was saying before, it's a beautiful looking movie, man. It's beautiful. It looks like a photo shoot at some points, and just the imagery of like the water birth, what's going on, and like the reflection of loss. And everyone's talking about, as rightfully so, Angela Bassett's powerful speech about, again, loss and about what she's lost, what she's given up, and just what a powerful actress she is in general. And watching that scene, and it hits you deep because of understanding that that's where they're going. I know there's a debate on whether or not they should have recast it or not, and I actually like the idea of what they're doing. But again, I haven't seen the film yet. You could see it and go, oh, maybe they could have recast. I don't know. But I like from what I've seen in the trailer, what they're going for. I dug it. I understand the argument for recasting. I understand if you wanted to continue on because of the building that we were doing, and we thought we lost T'Challa in Endgame, and he came back. So, but circumstances are circumstances, And again, when even those comments that I saw for that, most of them, I'm talking about relating to the stuff on my community. I've seen some pretty positive explanations of why, as opposed to just angry blanket stupid statements. So, and that's what I really appreciate about people over on this community anyway, and that counts for the Facebook page and everything in general. So, but yeah, I mean this trailer knocked the wind out of a lot of people, as it should have. It was beautiful, and it ended the panel. It's not going to end the discussion on our Marvel stuff because of, again, trying to go into timeline here, but it did. This is the way you're ending Phase 4, and that's the way to do it. And it ends in November. This movie is going to. Is it November? It's November. Yeah, this movie is going to annihilate at the box office. Now, what a way this. Rightfully so, they closed out and because they want people talking about, and I also understand why they didn't show the footage for Guardians and publicly Guardians and Ant-Man, because this is what they wanted out. They wanted She-Hulk first. Let She-Hulk hit the web space first. Get people talking about their show that's coming out in August. That's their show, and here's the movie, the next movie that's coming out. That's what we want people talking about right now. We'll release the other trailers probably when D23 comes out in September. We're probably going to get a story trailer for Black Panther. We'll get into the D23 stuff soon, but you'll probably get the Guardians and Ant-Man thing. They're going to show it to the audience there, guaranteed. Now, whether or not they release that to the public that day, that's another question. All right, now before we move on to the other phases, there's a lot left. This is a lot left. I wanted to tell you guys about private internet access. We're happy to be with them. Really happy to be with them. And so people were asking the other day because people were trying to sign up for it, and the link's a little different than the previous links that we've had. But today's episode is sponsored by Private Internet Access. It is the most transparent VPN provider on the market, and this is just the software you need to protect your digital life. And you guys are probably not even aware of it, but even if you browse in incognito mode when you go on there, you're not safe online. Your internet service provider is still storing your browsing history and can sell it to your advertisers. And you right away you go, oh, I didn't know that. Private Internet Access encrypts your internet connection and hides your IP address, and it protects you. And all you have to do is connect to one of the 1,000 servers located in over 80 countries, and even a server in each U.S. state, so you can avoid supporting even blackouts, for example. So you'll be able to get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content on streaming platforms. So Private Internet Access has a strict no logs policy, and it's 100% open source. If you want to start securing your digital life, I have a special deal available for you guys. You can get an amazing, listen to this, 82% discount on Private Internet Access. That brings it down to just $2.11 a month. And you also get 3 extra months added to your subscription for free. That is a deal. So Private Internet Access does come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, and it's got 24/7 customer support, and it's all risk-free for you guys. So you head on over to privateinternetaccess.com/thebigthing and get private internet access today. That is privateinternetaccess.com/thebigthing. All right, so a lot of you guys always ask. You're always asking me now because of everything going on with the Schmodown and everything in general, and you're enjoying this channel, and you're like, how do we support? Obviously, the Patreon, and patreon.com/Schmodown is going to be we're going to transfer everything over. Big thing is everything's going to turn into one big Patreon, and that's going to be on September 1st, I believe, is the first day of that. So, we're going to be listening to you guys, same way we do here about tiers and all that. Can't do that? Well, you can go and you can check out one of these sponsors that you enjoy, and I would say, especially for internet access, Private Internet Access, to protect yourselves. Get that. Sign up today. That's cheap as hell. Get that deal and sign up for it today. Check it out. Links in the description. Now let's move on. So, Wakanda Forever, obviously, that's going to close out Phase 4. That's big. Big stuff. Now, the other stuff that then came out after that was Phase 5. Now, Phase 5 is going to start out with Ant-Man and The Wasp, Quantumania. That hits in February 17th. Now, Kang, I think, is a big part of this as well. And so what where is this? Here it is. Quantumania. So I did not see this trailer. I'm not going to watch it leaked. I know that it leaked to some places, and I'm not watching it leaked. I'm going to wait for it to come out. And I don't know enough about it. I don't know all the details about it yet, but we know that Kang is, and for people who were first introduced to him in Loki, kind of stole the show at the end, but it introduced everything that's about to go down. Again, kind of negating the idiots like myself who were saying that there's no connectivity. There's nothing going on for Phase 4. Well, they set that up in Loki, and apparently he's going to be he's like the big bad in general. We'll get into that a little more down in a moment here, but it looks like he's going to have a lot to do with Quantumania, and this is going to set up, obviously Loki set him up, but this is going to start to set him up in the film universe, leading to the start of all of this that leads to the end of Phase 6, and we're really into this Multiverse Saga full-fledged here in the start of Phase 5. So now I feel very similar about the Ant-Man franchise than I have for Guardians and even Thor. Not to the extent, but similar. Ant-Man 1 thought was great. Thought it was a really good crime. It was a crime comedy. I mean, it was that the same thing they've been saying a million times over, balance. There's a lot of comedy in Ant-Man, the first one. That works very well. Very fitting for when there's a particular character, when it's right for that joke, the joke comes. So that's what I always try to tell people. I'm not against comedy in Marvel. I think Marvel needs comedy. It's part of it. It's just a matter of, does it feel right for the character in general, or is it just a sketch comedy show, right? Guardians 2 and Thor, Love and Thunder felt very sketch comedy, and Ant-Man 2 felt very stand-up comedy to me. It's like everybody started to have jokes in certain moments, and I'm like, and it lost me. It lost me. Didn't see this trailer. Don't know what kind of tone we're getting at. And again, I don't mind the blend. I just hope it's more of a balance than what we got in the second one. And I haven't rewatched the second one in a while, by the way. So I'm on a rewatch. I might have a different opinion, but you never know. I'm not sure. But this one comes out. This starts the phase, man. This starts the phase of, where the hell are we? Did I get this right? Yeah. And then, speaking of which, then we got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 in Phase 4. Now, this is what I was talking. Again, I did not see this, but from what I heard, this is what we're talking about, balance. Apparently, before Black Panther, Wakanda Forever took everybody's eyes by storm with tears. This one kicked some ass with some emotional moments. I'm all here for that. Now, obviously, the Guardians of the Galaxy has to have humor. That's what the characters are. A lot of them. And James Gunn in general, right? But from listening to the snippets of what they were talking about, it's an emotional journey for all of them. Chris Pratt got choked up talking about it. James Gunn was choked up kind of talking about it. This is the end of their run. This is the end of their arc in the MCU in general. And I think that broke people up, right? And I think in the MCU in general, I know it's definitely for the Guardians franchise. They said that for sure. And ending it, and I like that. Not because I'm not a Guardians fan, because they had a vision. James Gunn says, this is where I see this thing going, and everybody agreed, and they said, let's end it strong. 3 movies. Let's end it strong. Good for them. Good for them. I can't wait to see this. I can't wait to see the movie. And it's funny because when you hear me talk about Guardians 2, like, why would you want to see Guardians 3? Because I'm a big James Gunn fan. Peacemaker to me was fantastic. Really great stuff. Suicide Squad. Fantastic. And I think he's playing on a different level right now, creatively. And I think he's got a story to tell with Guardians. And then they brought out my dude from Peacemaker as the main villain, and he showed up in the crowd. I don't remember the name again. Like I said, Namor, Aquaman, all these things. I don't know. You guys tell me. I'm not going to pretend. You could have done the research. Yeah, I could have taken a shit earlier than I wanted to today too, and I didn't. And I'm going to pay for it, but I didn't. Either way, very great actor. And what's funny is that James Gunn talked about this dude during Peacemaker and said, wait until you see what he's going to do in Guardians 3. So, good. We've got apparently a good villain. We got emotional moments. What we do know is that Quill is looking for Gamora. She's running the scavengers, I think, at this point, and she doesn't know him. And again, this plays into the whole loss stuff to where he's finally got her back, but it's not his Gamora. It's a multiverse Gamora. It's not his. It's not his lady. So that's going to be tough to try to win her back. Can he win her back? It's a different Gamora. So we're going to find that out for sure. We're going to see how that all plays in. Are we going to lose anybody? Possible. Don't take that. James Gunn would absolutely do that to you. Step on your heart, kick it around for a little bit, for sure, with some laughs to boot. So, starting out strong with Guardians, and look, I mean that's February and May. Oh, and there you go. Okay, so now, dumb me, I think. Then we get into, when does Secret Invasion come out? So Secret Invasion comes out. I don't even know what the hell that is. It is, but this is the type of stuff that I think both DC and Star Wars do wrong. And well, wrong's a harsh word, because, like I said, Kevin Feige made an announcement a little while ago that they were doing that they had a plan, and they said, okay, we're sitting in a room, and we just mapped out all this shit. We just mapped it all out, and this is what we're doing. This stuff's in production. The stuff we're working on. So we can announce this stuff. I still don't think that the plan is in sync on both Star Wars and Warner Brothers for enough for them to do that. Because what you don't want to do, especially for Star Wars again, is start announcing all this shit, and then you're like, oh, just kidding, somebody left again, and we're not doing that one anymore. So just kidding. You don't want to do that. That doesn't happen very often with Marvel. It happened a couple of times with a certain, I think the Inhumans, they announced at one point they didn't do it, but it's rare. So Secret Invasion, and you guys and Coy and Winston can tell me what the hell that is. I'm sure it has something to do with aliens. Maybe not. Who the hell knows? Echo coming out in summer. That's around the same time as Guardians. And Echo is going to be, people are, why are they doing an Echo show? Because it's also setting up Daredevil, which, by the way, rewind, Daredevil is going to be in She-Hulk. Obviously, they showed that in the trailer. So, and I think Echo could be an interesting show, and it sets into this universe on television as well. Loki season 2 also coming out in summer of 2023, which is great. I mean, you've got Secret Invasion, Echo, and Loki, Quantumania, and Guardians hitting you by summertime. And then following up with the Marvels. Now, here's what I will say about the Marvels. Not a big Captain Marvel movie fan. I saw it when I first saw it. It was fine. Watch it, and I like the idea going back to the 90s and all that stuff. It's on a rewatch, though. I said it's okay. It's one of their kind of subpar movies. What I will tell you, though, I loved Ms. Marvel. Thought Ms. Marvel was a really good show. And what I liked the most about Ms. Marvel was the non-superhero stuff. I thought the superhero stuff was good in the way that they combined her powers, and the reason, obviously, the reveal. Spoiler. If you haven't seen Ms. Marvel, here comes the spoiler. You ready? Spoiler. I've warned you. Spoiler. She's a mutant. Which I also think, I think Namor is 2. Tell me if that's right. Pretty sure. So they're starting to introduce X-Men, even though they didn't announce anything. I'm pausing. It's doing the stupid pausing thing right now. La la la, pausing sucks. I hate you, stupid pausing. Clean up your computer. I did that already. It's really clear, so I don't understand. I got to take it in and find out why it's doing this. Please stop pausing. Please stop pausing. Here we go. Please stop pausing. Oh my God, it's taking so long. Okay. I don't know why it's doing that, guys. I got to figure it out. But at least I can catch it. And I can sing stupid songs for you. You like that? Me neither. Problem is I get interrupted or where the hell I was. Where was I? Oh, Ms. Marvel. So the Ms. Marvel stuff I really liked with the family stuff, and I think played in really, really well. I thought it was an emotional show, and they played into the X-Men. I think they're going to eventually announce the X-Men maybe at D23. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But, sorry. So we go back to it. You get the Marvels coming out now in July 28th. So look at that, man. Quantumania, boom, hits big on February 17th. And Secret Invasion, Guardians of the Galaxy, Echo, Loki. I mean, and I can already see it inside the comments section. Oh, it's too much. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you. If you're a hardcore Marvel fanatic, you are in heaven right now. I'm excited to watch all of them. I'm not saying I'm going to like all of them. I probably won't. And I'll probably get shit for it when I'm looking inside of the and saying, hey, this one, I get grouchy old man. So be it. But the thing is, what I always think is silly is people just going, well, that one sucked. I'm never watching it ever again. If you never like it, you don't like it, you move on. It's fine. But look what we got here. That's a lot of good stuff so far. With Quantumania, Guardians, Loki are the ones that I think, to me, I'm the most excited about. I don't know enough about Secret Invasion to get excited yet. I thought the character Echo was I thought interesting. I thought they did a big arc with her in Hawkeye, and I thought that was a big angle. So I don't know what else they're going to do. Maybe again bring in Daredevil and Kingpin to introduce more, or maybe they may make it a I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it. But so, like I said, I don't know enough about it yet to get excited or not get excited. The Marvels, I have more anticipation than I thought I would because of Ms. Marvel now and the way that they ended that show. So then we get to November 3rd of next year, and that's Blade. Finally getting the Blade movie. Mahershala Ali. They did not announce Anthony Starr's Dracula. They didn't need to. Because, again, as I said, at Star Wars Celebration, no talk of Acolyte at all. I mean, don't even talk of it, really. Maybe they talked about it in the press line somewhere, but not in any of the events. And this is the kind of stuff like, what you don't even show a graphic of it and say this, and by the way, we got so-and-so. I think they finally announced Amandla over the weekend at Comic-Con, where we knew they were going to be in it anyway. This was a pure conversation during Comic-Con, where the announcement came. So, I don't know. They did this for Blade. Like, Blade is not coming out until November. But they said, confirmation's coming out. Woohoo! November, we got a date. Wonderful. Great. Got some Blade news. You got nothing, but you still got excited because you got something, even though it was nothing. Then Ironheart. I don't know anything about Ironheart. Not a thing. Again, when Winston and Coy come in, they can tell me everything about Ironheart. But this is fall of 2023. Now, what I find interesting is winter of 2023, 2024. I assume, what does that mean? Does that mean that that's coming out in like late December, early January? So like kind of what Mandalorian did for a while. You know, you debut the first episode in like the end of December, and then it plays into, or is it one of these things where it's like, it's going to come out either winter 2023 or somewhere in 2024. I happen to think it's probably the former. It probably is going to be December, and then it plays into January, maybe even February. But that is a stacked lineup, dude. Quantumania, Secret Invasion, Guardians, Echo, Loki, The Marvels, Blade, Ironheart. And because here's what Ironheart, Echo, and Secret Invasion really have going for them. There's not too many, maybe Secret Invasion does, but there's not too much expectations in general for at least casual viewers, right? Quantumania, Ant-Man, it's a third movie in a film. Guardians, a third movie in a film. Loki's a second season. Blade's coming off of a popular name, obviously, and people are excited about it. So there's expectations and fingers crossed for those movies, right? And even the Marvels. Captain Marvel made $1 billion. So all those are lumped into one, where there's expectations. Secret Invasion, to the hardcore comic book fan in general, probably has expectations and wants to know and wants to know what's coming and is excited about it. Casual viewers, not so much, right? Echo, not so much. Ironheart, not so much. So out of those three things, when those are going on, I will tell you that when you look at those three things, those particular shows, there's nowhere to go but up. So if Ironheart hits, if Echo hits, if those hit, then maybe they knock it out of the park. Same thing with Agatha, I think, has a little bit more, because you got Catherine Hahn, who everybody loves, and she was kind of coming off of this whole entire thing, what was happening. And hold on a second, everybody. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Oh, sorry, there's something happened. I just hold on, guys. Sorry about that. That should never happen on my show, but something just happened, and I have. Sorry about that. That just completely ruined the show. But hold on. I apologize. So let me get back to this, and now we get to the Quantum Mania, Secret Invasion, Guardians, Echo, Loki, the Marvels, Blade, Ironheart, Agatha. Okay. So now the big announcement comes in that we've got Daredevil Born Again. Now, Daredevil was a very popular show on Netflix, and I'm nervous about that now. Sorry. It could have ruined the show. I have this stupid thing going on in my garage, and yeah, I need a studio. So let's get us to 70,000 subscribers. So we start that process. Okay, good, working hard. All right. Anyway, back to Daredevil. Now, there was obviously we did a story about it on this channel that we knew that Daredevil was coming, and I think that whether it leaked or whatever happened, but Daredevil's coming out, and Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio are back. Now, they're obviously not going to have the same kind of gratuity and rated R TV mature feel that the Netflix did. I think that they can still, because of what they did with Logan and bringing Logan and Daredevil back on Disney Plus, that maybe they up it a little bit more, because I think they were aware, obviously. But here we go, Frozen again. This is some show so far. I thought we were cooking. We were cooking for a little bit, and now we have a couple freezes. We got a garage door about to fall down. So, a couple different things happening today, and we'll start talking about that. There we go. We're back. Thanks for sticking with me. Holy moly. Okay, so Daredevil gets announced for 18 episodes, though. 18 episodes. That's big. That's big. That's going to take you for a while. Now, how long are those episodes is a question, too. Even if they're 30 minutes. 18 episodes starting in spring. That's going to take you through most of it. That's a lot of episodes. They must have a lot of confidence in that show. 18 episodes. That's massive. That's massive. And then we get Captain America. Anthony Mackie starring in Captain America: New World Order, which comes out in May of 2024. So that gives you some time as well. And look at all this material in general. So Phase 4 is then going to end with Thunderbolts, which is a movie, I guess. Again, people are talking about the late great William Hurt passing away. They don't have Thunderbolt anymore. So who are they going to recast him? I know that PLD wants Ed Harris. So is that going to happen? Who knows? Either way, Thunderbolts is going to end Phase 4. It's going to be a hell of a phase, man. And out of all the ones, now I'm going to tell you and then we'll move on to Phase 5 here. That my anticipation of Ant-Man and the Wasp, high. Guardians, high, maybe the most out of all of them so far. Loki Season 2. Probably my favorite Marvel, so pretty high. Blade, massively high. Agatha, mid. Captain America, pretty high. Secret Invasion, mid. Echo, mid. Marvels, higher than mid. Because of it would have been mid beforehand, but with the addition of Kamala Khan, I'm on board. Ironheart, mid. Daredevil, pretty high. Thunderbolts, mid, because I don't know anything about it. I'm sure that once people start telling me about it, it could be, because everybody's excited about this. People were losing their minds when they announced it. I don't know anything about it. So, but it's a pretty good phase, man. Phase 5. All right, moving on here before we go to the next phase. I do want to tell you about NORDPASS also. So, NORDPASS is pretty fantastic. You've heard me talk about NORDPASS. Do you use your Facebook account to log into every new website, application, or eShop because it's faster and easier? Have you ever wondered what can happen if your Facebook account is hacked? Well, let us tell you guys. Hackers would get a free shot at all of your accounts that are linked to Facebook. Not even talking about your personal information, your credit card details, delivery address. There are more serious crimes that could happen, such as identity theft, crimes committed under your name, loans under your name, the whole nine. NORDPASS it can help you to avoid those situations, and it's more than a powerful manager. It's the essential cybersecurity tool that makes everyone's life so much easier and safer. And it's a simple, easy to use, and very secure password managed, created by the cybersecurity experts who also built the NordVPN, the advanced online security and private app trusted by more than 14 million users worldwide. You can store all your passwords in one place. You can log in faster. You can generate secure passwords, shop and browse faster, save your time. There's a data breach scanner. You can find out if your online account or credit card information has been leaked. There's a password health. NORDPASS is a zero-knowledge password manager. And so more about the features in the link in the description. And you can, what they take away, a lot of times NORDPASS conducts global research to explore the top 200 most common passwords. And this year, the research covers 50 different countries, the top passwords among different genders, and a global view. So what you want to do is head on over. There's so much you can do. You got to go to nordpass.com/bigthing, and you can get 70% off a 2-year NORDPASS premium plan at nordpass.com/bigthing. Use that code BIGTHING. It is sponsored by NORDPASS. We're excited about it, and you can. It's very easy for me because I've got all these passwords that I always want to check up, so I've been using it, and it's beyond helpful. There's also 30-day money back guarantee. Use that link. You got to use the link in the description now. So I'll put it in the description. Check it out one more time. It's nordpass.com/bigthing. All right, so let's get to the. I mean, like I said, I don't even know if I'm going to get to. I can't get to everything today. I'll get to everything that we talked about. The Marvel was so big as far as the panel. There's so much information. Let's get to the next phase. And that's Phase 6. So Kevin Feige didn't have to announce any of this stuff, right? Because as we said, D23 is right around the corner. D23 is right around the corner, and they're going to announce a lot of stuff happening. Like, look at this. So you see November 8th, fall, winter, fall, spring, winter, May, spring, summer, November 7th. So there's stuff that's going to be fitting in there. There's movies coming out. There's shows coming out. And I think we're going to get some of those D23. I think X-Men is going to be one of those movies that's going to be announced inside of that phase. And the reason why is because they've already been teasing it. I think, again, you tell me. I think Namor's an X-Men or a mutant anyway. Tell me if I'm wrong. But I know, obviously, with Ms. Marvel, I know in the comics she was an Inhuman, but they said the only reason they did that is because Fox owned the rights at the time to the X-Men, and then they changed her X-Men, and you even hear the X-Men theme play at one point. So, Kevin Feige, known to be a big Fantastic Four fan, he finally gets to announce, confirm anyway. Everybody kind of knew that this movie was coming out. They didn't announce a cast. Maybe they announced that cast. Maybe that's why they confirm it here. November 8th, they confirm that Fantastic Four is coming out. But maybe at D23 they announced director and cast. Maybe that's something that they do that's big. There's all this stuff that is in the in-between that I think you're going to get some of it potentially at D23. Fill it in. But he really wanted to make a massive impact with Phase 6 and announces not one, but 2 Avengers movies. One that comes out in May and then one that comes out in November. And it's the Kang Dynasty, which is the first one, which comes out in summertime, which will just crush. They're going to have a hell of a year in Phase 6, man, money-wise. They're going to have a hell of a year. You look at that. Those 2 movies coming out in the same year. The Kang Dynasty, Secret Wars. Apparently, the Secret Wars ends the Multiverse Saga, is what they said. So the Avengers, Secret Wars, Kang Dynasty. Now, Kang is going to be the new Thanos, apparently. Josh Hartnett actually had a great interview with him on the red carpet, and I don't think he knew the actor who plays Kang, didn't even know that they had officially announced it. So he was trying to be very careful on what he said, and then they showed him that it was out there, and then he was excited to say that he was actually in it. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, man, Fantastic Four. Now, what's exciting about this is all the stuff that led up that we just talked about with Daredevil and the other thing. When you go back, where does Deadpool fit into this, right? Where does Deadpool? Where does X-Men? Where does all that? You got to assume that that's what's going to nail down Phase 6, and then when you get into the stuff that was so fantastic about like Endgame and all that, is like you see all these heroes that you've been with for so long of all these phases, and they all come back to fight Thanos. I think it's going to be very similar, where you're getting all these heroes with now Deadpool and the X-Men, and like that. That's one of the things that I think that this phase has been lacking so far is we've got new heroes that they're introducing. They're bringing in new people, and they're establishing them. But you still want your all-stars, but the problem is a lot of the all-stars are kind of the old guard now, right? Captain America, Hulk, all of the old guard, and as they introduce the new ones, and Thor and all of them, the new ones we're getting to. I mean, we don't know what Spider-Man's doing, right? So Spidey's out there doing something, but Spider-Man's probably still part of it and still can help with that kind of all-star cast, but you can bring in new all-stars, and that's Fantastic Four and X-Men and Deadpool. And imagine them now fighting up against Kang or whatever he's doing. So it's starting to lock in and play pretty well. So I think, though, the idea that both of these movies, I mean, look at this. Fantastic Four, that's Fantastic Four is 2024, excuse me. So that, and then, so I guess you can go back a little bit in 2020. Let me go back to 2024. Oh, sorry. Where the hell is it? Is that it? That's Phase 5. Okay. So 2024, excuse me. 2024, you've got Agatha, Daredevil, Captain America, Thunderbolts, and then Fantastic Four in November. Okay, so they're going to have a big year in 2024, but then 2025 is going to be the two Avengers movies. And then, I mean, 2025, if they get X-Men, Deadpool, man, you would assume Deadpool 3 is going to be in 2025. And you would assume that they're going to aim for X-Men, because the only thing with X-Men, if they don't, is that X-Men could then take over their Phase 7, which would also make sense, but I think people would still be bummed. Holy moly. It's an hour of stuff. I got to try to get into a little bit of this stuff, though. Got to try. Because it's important. Oh. That was what I was talking about. Okay. So D23, how am I talking about? DC has their panel, and everybody is very curious. What's going down? Warner Brothers. What are they going to do? Because it was announced as a Warner Brothers theatrical with presentations by Black Adam and Shazam, right? Because those are the movies that are coming out this year. The first trailer that they do is Shazam. So Shazam comes out. I liked the first Shazam. I think it was mixed for some people, but I really liked the first Shazam. And I thought this trailer was more in the same, and I actually think this trailer looks even better than the first. I think they've really got a lockdown on what this movie is, and same type of thing. There's humor in it, but these are kids. These are kids with superpowers, but they just look like grown-ups. It's kids. So I'm liking what I'm seeing in this a lot. Wasn't too much besides just the trailer. And then they moved on. They moved on to Shazam, and then this happens. Rock comes out, and he comes massive. I mean, this is The Rock. The guy knows how to do entrances. He comes out, does this big entrance, and they start talking about stuff, and they show it's like a mini teaser. Because the problem, again, the same problem that Game of Thrones had. There was nobody's talking about Game of Thrones for this week, and this Game of Thrones showed a great trailer, 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago. So there was nothing else. What they do? They showed the trailer again. It was good for people who were in the room. That's a lot of fun. But for the news cycle, nobody's talking about Game of Thrones. More people were talking about Lord of the Rings because they had a new trailer. So I think that Game of Thrones, I don't know why Game of Thrones showed their trailer so early. If it was going to get leaked, I don't know. I'm not sure, but that was a head scratcher. You had more people talking about it in the news cycle with that, and it came after Lord of the Rings. I thought that was bad. I thought it was bad strategy to release that so early, especially with such a great trailer. I mean, that trailer is fantastic for Game of Thrones. I'm still way more excited for Game of Thrones than Lord of the Rings, even though I thought Lord of the Rings had a great trailer. Everybody's talking about that, and I know I missed the Balrog. I know. Stupid Amazon put the stupid logo up quick, and it looked like it was over. And then Balrog shows up. Hey, you missed the Balrog. I know. Read the comment section. Every other comment told me that I missed the Balrog. I get it. But thank you. I appreciate you telling me. But anyway, The Rock comes out, shows up, and what happened was everybody, I think it was the Hollywood Reporter had a story that Henry Cavill's showing up. It's going to happen. Reports. So everybody starts saying, like, we even talked about on the big thing. We didn't say it's going to happen, but we all predicted. We all thought it would. We went off of the report that came in. Winston, myself, and Brett were like, yeah, it would make sense. Bring him back. That's how you hit hard, and you get that crowd excited. Because I will say, even if they didn't announce any other projects, if Henry Cavill comes out at the end, boom, nails it. But I will say this. I think it was wrong for people to go after Warner Brothers for not producing Henry Cavill. They never once said that. It was a report that came out on whatever it was, Reporter, Variety, I can't remember. That's not their fault at all. That is the thing with when it comes to expectations. Oh, good, it's frozen again. Perfect. That is when it comes to expectations. That's a different type of expectation than when you're looking at like a movie or a trailer or anything too, and you can be disappointed that Henry Cavill didn't show up, but you can't blame them because they never told you. If they said, like, "Oh, Henry Cavill's going to show up," he couldn't make it. Sorry, we're going to scrap that. Screw you! You told me he's going to show up. They never told you that. Not once. Not once did they hint it. Not once. But The Rock has been hinting heavily. So as his ex-wife, producing partner Danny Garcia, who her publicist, from what I understand, is also, I think, Henry Cavill's. Henry Cavill, and Rock has said this on the press line as well. Henry Cavill and Danny Garcia are also, she's a big advocate for him. So I still think Henry Cavill's showing up in Black Adam one way or another. The Rock has also made it very clear that him and Henry Cavill are very good friends. And when The Rock wants something to happen, it happens. I think he shows up. I think they didn't want to. I don't think they wanted to show it at. They wanted to surprise people, almost like a Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire type thing, which I think is smart. And again, we put not their fault. Now that I've given them all the credit for it not being their fault, what is their fault is that they should have waited for DC fandom to do something. Now I understand that well, wait a minute. You can't. They have these movies they want to promote, so just do a Black Adam and Shazam thing, and just say, "Hey, and make an announcement. We will be producing more of our overall content for film and television at DC fandom, but this year we're going to be doing a full panel of just Shazam and Black Adam, where we will show footage and blah 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 blah." You present it; it's straightforward. People go, "Okay, well, that's what we're going to get." You can still be disappointed that Henry Cavill doesn't show up, but again, not their fault. And they've told you right then and there, this is it. Don't call it a Warner Brothers theatrical. Call it a Black Adam Shazam panel, and do it on a Thursday. Don't do it on a Friday. Do it on Saturday at the same day as Marvel, or Friday. Do it on Thursday or Friday. And you say, and you open it up. Say, this is what it is. Here's what we got. You do the big entrance by The Rock, and you have these moments, and you say that's what it is. Because the problem is now Zavlov or Vlasov or Slavlov, he takes over And he's now acquired all this shit when it comes to the Aquaman stuff, and when I say shit, I'm talking about the Amber Heard situation, and now Ezra Miller with the Flash and all this. So clearly, they were not going to do a big presentation for those because they don't want it, because that's what the whole cycle would have been. Because they showed a trailer for Aquaman 2 and they put her in it, then it's like, okay, well, the people are talking about that. We want them talking about Black Adam, and we want to talk about Shazam, and they're talking about Amber Heard and blah, blah, blah. I get it. But you're going to have to face it eventually, right? Same thing with Ezra Miller in The Flash. Like, well, you can't show anything from The Flash with everything going on with Ezra Miller. You've got Michael Keaton with The Flash, right? Bring Michael Keaton now. Just have Michael Keaton do a whole speech or something. Something. Unless you really don't know what the hell's going on with that movie, right? And like I said, this is it. They're going to do a Warner Brothers panel. If they're just going to do a Shazam and Black Adam panel, then so be it. But if you're going to do a Warner Brothers panel, what's going on with the Penguin show? Is it happening? What's going on with Joker 2? Happening? Working on it? Confirmed? Not confirmed? What's going on with any of your properties that you're working on with TV shows or anything? Batman 2 is announced. You're announced. Fine, it's coming out in 3 more years. Announce it. Tell us about it. Nothing. It was just it. And again, it's tough when you're taking it over. But it's very similar. Like when I was talking about with Star Wars when they did the celebration in London in 2016. They were still getting used to the fact that, because they used to just do Star Wars celebrations, and it was just and that's what it is. And when you listen to the fans that went to Star Wars Celebration in London, they had a blast and they had so much fun. The ones that were in attendance, it's looked upon as one of the. It was not eventful for the moment. Like the Rogue One trailer wasn't even anything that was really prepared. Most of the footage didn't even make it up in the movie. Thrawn was the biggest announcement, I think, of the convention. So they weren't really prepared for the news cycle the way that is. People were so focused on it that there were no announcements and all this stuff, and they made up for that in Orlando and Chicago and this year, right? And they've gone back on board with that. I think that Warner Brothers is in a with the new regime in place there, they're in that spot. They're in that spot of like, well, wait, okay, so we just got to do something at Comic-Con? Don't work like that. You got to be whether it's fair or not, you're under the microscope because you're one of the big dogs in the game, and we want to know what's going on, especially with the years, the great movies you guys have been putting out lately, and the stuff you've been putting out, the Batman, Peacemaker, what happened? Nothing with Peacemaker. James Gunn was there. He was there. So like shit like that. It's like, what if you would have brought out in the middle of that? He brought out Peacemaker, and John Cena shows up, with The Rock. I mean, come on. You had it. It was right there. But that just, and the flip side of that is someone on the other side of this and going, hey, dummy, we don't have that kind of stuff locked in yet, and we can't start making those announcements because we might not be able to deliver. Then just have a Shazam and Black Adam panel. So it was tough, and they're getting into the game and they're learning the game. So you got to cut them a little bit of slack. All right, before we go, there was a couple other things that hit. John Wick, our own Corey Jandrew was the moderator for Berserker. I guess it's his new comic book, Keanu Reeves' new comic book that he's got. And no, wait a minute. When did he? Oh no, I'm sorry. Corey did do that, but I was wrong on when. I thought that Keanu Reeves actually debuted the John Wick trailer there. Corey would have lost his mind if that happened, so I should have known better. It was actually a Colliders panel, the director panel that Frosty was doing, and Keanu Reeves showed up and then showed the John Wick trailer, because that came out of nowhere. No one was even talking about that, and then the John Wick trailer shows up and just, God, that movie looks good. I can't wait. I'm super excited for that. Dungeons & Dragons is the other one, Honor Among Thieves. As I said earlier, this looks like a late 90s, early 2000s, like Guardians meets Knight's Tale. Majority of people really on board with this. Like I said, I'm always more serious fantasy, but I've not played Dungeons & Dragons for what people said, and its director, it's Sean Levy, I think, or whoever directed Game Night. So people are pretty excited about it. It does look fun. I'm not gonna deny that. So I was I thought we were getting something different, but from what people were expecting, it looks like they got it. And then lastly was, as I mentioned earlier, the trailer for Lord of the Rings, the extended one with a little bit more story behind it. A lot of people who were Tolkien fans, I'm not going to break anybody's balls who's a Tolkien fan saying that they're upset that this doesn't follow the lore and this is very different. I think that's valid. I think if you're a massive fan, you invested that much time in reading all those books and all the lore, and you know it that well, and it's like my daughter who reads all the Percy Jackson stuff now. She goes back and how much she doesn't like the movies. I turn it on. I watch the movies. The movies are the movies. The Percy Jackson, are they great movies? Not really. And the TV shows will probably be much better. But I don't have as much of an investment in it because I didn't read those, and I'm not invested into it. So if it was entertaining to me, it's entertaining to me. The trailers, the fantasy trailers to me that I've seen, as I've said, a little more serious tone, the last 2 trailers have looked pretty damn good. But I'm not going to argue with Tolkien fans to say it's different because I don't know it. I don't know enough about it. Well, look at another shill here. Talking about what am I? Am I shill for Disney? Am I shill for Amazon? Am I shill for Netflix? What the hell am I shill for? Everything? Shill for everything? Well, let me be a shill for the old man. By the way, before I go, I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to one of those shorts I'm going to do. A show that everybody is at least sleeping on. I know people who've been watching it and been raving about it because that's why I decided to check it out. Jeff Bridges, the old man. Apparently, John Watts directed. I don't know if he directed, produced, or whatever he did. The old man. It's on Hulu, but I think it's an FX show. Holy shit, this show's awesome. At least the pilot was awesome. Like awesome. Like really, really great. I don't want to tell you anything about it. I just want you to go in and watch it. All I'll say is it's Jeff Bridges kicking ass, but in a realistic-ish way. It's like old Jack Bauer. I'll say that. It's like old Jack Bauer. Like if Jack Bauer was old, like really old and found. Does that make sense? Not really. But I love it. I love it. Love that show. Definitely going to be watching it. All right, we did it. That's the show. Thank you for checking us out today. Once again, if you haven't, please subscribe. Help us get to 70,000 by the end of the year. I'm going to try to take this show on the road, but we need you guys to help. Apple Podcasts, Spotify helps tremendously. If you can join Patreon, do it. Remember, everything's switching over. Patreon.com/schmodown is going to be the Patreon. Everything's switching over there. Our rewatches, everything that we're going to be doing, is the exclusive live shows, all of it. So make sure you get on over there and join. And that's it, everybody. So thank you. We appreciate you. And we'll see you soon. And be on the lookout. I'm going to start doing some shorts pretty soon. I click on them because if you guys like them, I'm going to do more of them. All right. Peace. That's me. That's me.